So today we will start with structures. This concept of structures is one of the most important topic in C language. Now it's a very interesting topic because whatever data types we have learned till now, can be int, float, char, boolean, anything you know, all these data types were predefined data types. This concept of structures allows us to define our own data type. A data type which can be designed by a programmer, and variables can be created based upon that data type by the programmer. So see, it's depending upon my requirement, I can create my own data type and then create variables of that data type. It basically gives some sort of freedom to the programmer, because till now I used to create variables of 2 bytes or 4 bytes or 1 byte, or I would create an array. This structures allows me to design my own variable and then create multiple variables based upon that requirement. So for that we are learning the concept of structures. It's like a climax of all the things we have learned in C language. Everything we know in C will be best implemented with the help of structures. Secondly, if we think about programming which will be implemented in real life, that programming invariably will contain the concept of structures. I don't think I can define a real life example in a program without the help of structures. So whatever we have learned till date was basically to implement structures properly. Now coming back to the real life examples, see, in real life, whatever information you wish to store in a program, maybe the information of an employee, maybe the information of a book, maybe the information of a student, maybe the information of, say, a cricket player, a bank account holder, any information you wish to store in a program, if you analyze this, you will see that information has got many parts. Like for example, if I talk about account holder of a bank, it will have an account number, it will have the name of an account holder, the type of account, the balance amount, the transaction date, the type of transaction, whatever. If you see, there are multiple parts in this, there are multiple sections in this, and whenever there are multiple sections, I think you need to use the concept of structures. So basically keep one thing in mind: if at all the information consists of multiple parts, then that multi-part information is best represented with the help of structures. Now let us take a very simple example. Now let's say I wish to store the information of an employee. Now when I store the information of an employee, what sort of information can I store? Let's say I wish to store the name of the employee. So name being a word, I'll be defining a string for it, something like this. I wish to store the age of the person, I'll say int of age. I wish to store the basic salary, I'll say float of BS. Now, as you can see, the information of employees consists of name, age and basic salary. There could be more things, but I am sticking right now to name, age and basic salary. Now, when I say name, age and basic salary, there are 3 parts, and when we are talking about 3 parts, I think we should think in terms of structures. Why? Because when I defined a string and an age and a basic salary for that, see what happened. Name got created over here, age got created over here, basic salary got created over here. Something like this happened. What's wrong in this? This was supposed to be the information of one employee. And when it was the information of one employee, I should be able to handle it as one entity. I should be able to handle it as one object. What has happened? Name is created at a separate place, age is created at a separate place, BS is created at a separate place. I wanted to store the information of one employee. For that I created 3 separate variables. The problem with these 3 variables is they are not a part of single object. I wish they could be a part of single object. For that, I should again go with the concept of structures. Like see, this is a pen. It has a body. It has a cap over here. Inside there is a nib. There is a refill inside this. But still I consider this as one pen. I don't talk in terms of individual items of this pen. This is one pen for me. If I want to ask someone ki bhai pen leke aao, I will say get me a pen. When I bring this pen, all the four components of this pen are with me. I am able to handle this as a single entity instead of four different entities. That is what is happening over here. Name, age and basic salary are three separate variables. I wish to handle them as one object. For that, we will start with the concept of structures. Now, when using structures, there would be two stages. One is this and one is this. Now, let me simplify this for you. Let's say I wish to build my house. I wish to construct a house. If I have enough land available with me and if my finances are available, I wish to construct my own house. What will you do in this case? The very first thing you will do is you will consult an architect. That architect, you will tell every requirement of yourself. Okay, but this is my requirement. This is the plot size. This is the budget of my house. I have to construct this house. Tell these requirements to the architect. What the architect does is he creates a house on a paper. Understand well, an architect doesn't construct a house. An architect simply designs your house on paper. He will listen to your requirements. He'll know your budget. He'll know your plot size, and accordingly he will draw a drawing of your house on a piece of paper. We call it as a floor plan. He will draw the floor plan on that piece of paper. Obviously, with the architect, you can always have meetings and discuss, okay, bhai, I don't want this room over here, I wish it could be here, or I want a little bigger room, or I want a little smaller room. You can always go for these things in discussions with the architect. Because it's your house, you can design your house as per your requirement. Now see, what has happened till date is, we have always bought predefined flats. We have purchased apartments which were already designed. I am talking about int, float, char, double, the predefined data types. They were already available. If you want, you just create a double variable. If you want, you just create a float variable and so on. But you could not change the design of that variable. The variable used to be a predefined variable. Today we are talking about creating our own type, and for that designing is the most important part. The first phase in structures would be to design your house, to design the floor plan of the house. Which room will be bigger, which room will be smaller, which room will be at the front or which will be at the end. These things you have to decide with the architect. Once the architect gives you a design which is as per your requirement, which you are satisfied with, you can bring that design back home. This design you give to your contractor, and looking at the design, the contractor starts constructing your house. See, I am talking about two phases. First is designing of the house, second is construction of the house. Now you know this, that the construction will be purely based upon the design. Whatever is in the design, that will be reflected in the construction. Same thing I am saying over here. First, in case of structures, would be design, second would be the declaration part. So here, for the same employee example, I'll define a structure called as EMP. Start of structures, end of structures. We are discussing the designing part. Here I'll have the three members that I mentioned earlier: the name of the employee, the age of the employee, the basic salary of the employee. Now think about this. Think about this as a house on a piece of paper. This is not the house you can live in. This is just a house which has been drawn on a piece of paper. So in the design, the architect has mentioned that there would be 3 rooms. One room would be of 20 bytes. I am talking in future tense. One room will be of 2 bytes and the last room will be of 4 bytes. Right now they are not present. They don't exist. I am talking in terms of future tense, that there would be 3 rooms, a 20 bytes room, a 2 bytes room, a 4 bytes room. This you have to keep in mind. This structure design occupies no bytes. This won't result in any bytes allocation, and name it as the structure definition, or let me call it as structure design. This structure design will act as a format for the variables to be created. How a variable will look, I have just mentioned it over here. But again and again and again I say, this does not result in any memory allocation. This is just how the variable will look in the memory. The actual memory allocation will take place when you define something like this: struct emp e1 e2. I hope you have an habit of understanding this, right? E1 and e2 are of the type integer. So E1, E2 will be created of the type integer. Now instead of that, here I have said E1, E2 are getting created of the type struct emp. Now what is struct emp? I have already mentioned over here. It consists of name, age and basic salary. So see, this is how E1 will look in the memory. E1, it's of the type struct emp. So it will have 3 rooms: name, another room age, third room basic salary. This structure variable will consist of 26 bytes. Similarly, I have another variable E2 again of the type struct emp, means of the type consisting of 3 rooms. I'll have name, age, BS, again consisting of 26 bytes. Have you noticed the change? Earlier when I defined name, age and BS, 3 separate variables got created. The advantage of structures is I created one variable E1 consisting of 3 parts: name, age, BS. I created another variable E2 consisting of 3 parts: name, age and BS. So I have name, age, BS as one entity called as E1, name, age, BS as one entity called as E2. So basically what I have done is I have drawn the design of the house, then I have constructed 2 houses, E1 and E2 of that design struct EMP. So this is my E1 of 26 bytes, this is my E2 again of 26 bytes. This is known as structure definition, this is known as structure variable declaration. This is structure variable declaration. These rooms are called as the members of structures, and these E1 and E2 are called as the structure variables. So there are 4 new words you need to understand: structure definition, structure variable declaration, members of this structure and the variables E1 and E2. In the drawing I mentioned 3 rooms. The 3 rooms are members. These are the 2 houses E1 and E2, both consisting of 3 rooms over here. If in the design if I had mentioned 4 rooms, then obviously E1, E2 had 4 rooms in each of the houses. Depending upon the design, the variable declaration will take place. The only thing that needs to understand is, see, name is a part of E1 also, name is a part of E2 also. How will you definitely say that I want E1's name or E2's name? So for that, C has a very interesting thing for you. Everything will be identified with this dot operator. This is E1's name, this is E1's age. So E1 dot age, E1 dot BS. This is E2's name. So E2 dot name, E2 dot age, E2 dot BS. So while reading this, you can very easily say E1 dot name means E1's name, E2 dot name means E2's name. Now again I say all real life examples will have multi-part information. Let me write down that for you. All real life information will have multi-part information, whether it's the information of a student or a railway reservation information or flight reservation information or information of a book or an account holder or an employee. This information will be multi-part. Whenever you have multi-part information, you need to design your structure and then create variables based upon that structure. See how far we have graduated in C language. Till now, I was creating variables based upon int, float or character, the predefined types. And today, as a programmer, I have the liberty of creating my own data type. You can see my data type, and then I have created variables based upon that data type. So that is why I'll be using the concept of structures. Just go through this and I'll explain the programs in my next class. Thank you.